Welcome to Politics Personified, an IG Live series presented by the Personified Group. Today's expert guest will be City Councilman Austin Thompson. We'll discuss his experience as City Councilman for the City of Lawrenceville. Let's get started.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. So everyone, this is Politics Personified, presented by the Personified. I'm your host, Lolita Hampton, founder and chief brand officer of the Personified Group. Our guest this evening is Lawrenceville Councilman Austin Thompson. So let's just stop and give him a round of applause, Austin Thompson. Thank you so much for being our guest tonight. So
yes, ma'am.
Politics Personified, the premise of it is to share personal stories, share the background story of why our elected officials or political candidates are actually out, in the field, in the community, aspiring to be leaders or currently leaders, and learning more about their vision, again, their personal story behind their brand and their vision to why they aspire to be in the position that they're in, or for some of our political candidates, why are they running for their respective office? So we're going to jump right in. So Councilman Thompson, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. We're not going to jump right into Tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? What's your favorite color? Tell us a little bit.
All right. Okay. So I'm originally from the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. That's in South America, bordering because when you tell people Guyana, they think Ghana, West Africa, right? Yeah. So yes, maybe, culturally, but I was physically born in the Republic of Guyana, South America, bordering Venezuela, Brazil, and Suriname, to give you just a geographic snapshot.
Okay.
I left Guyana at the age of 8. Immigrated to the United States through Brooklyn, New York. I don't know why, still to this day, but shout out to Brooklyn though. My parents went straight to the hood. So I grew up in the inner cities of Brooklyn, New York, East New York, Brooklyn, Flatbush, Crown Heights, and I've had a childhood that was very active in the community and with different student organizations. And I think that's where my passion for community comes from, is that, I grew up in the inner cities. I grew up, in low income housing. I'm not ashamed to say it, because so many people are ashamed to tell their stories, where they're really from, but, you learn a lot of lessons when you have humble beginnings, right? You learn a lot of lessons, and it really shapes you and who you are as a person, right? So, I relocated to Georgia, 1992. I came here. I was just like, coming from New York to the South, to Atlanta, to Georgia, it was like a total culture shock, right? Because you're coming from the concrete jungle, as they call it, right? They're coming from the concrete jungle, buildings like 102 stories high, to like, to Metro Atlanta in the suburbs. So it was like a culture shock. But I think it was destined for me to leave New York at that young age of 21, 22, and come here, get more focused. And this is how I was able to, learn a little bit more about myself, who I am, what I wanted, my desires, my passions, and it shaped me even more, right? And I got really serious about school and education, and and the rest is history, as they say.
All right. Well, awesome. And I appreciate transparency. You said, listen, I came from the island, moved to Brooklyn, not necessarily the best environment, but it's part of your story, right?
Yeah.
It's part of who you are and who you are. And then you move down to the countryside, right? To the clay, the red clay.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a different culture shock, a different environment, but it sounds like it was a catalyst to push you to want more for yourself and to affect change, within your community. So that's awesome. I mean, we all have our stories, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Brand.
And we should never. Yeah, and we should never be ashamed of our beginnings, our humble beginnings. I tell my story all the time of where I come from. I did it all on the campaign trail.
Absolutely. And that's why you were born, right? That's why you were Councilman, Austin
Yes.
Thompson. So awesome. All right, so tell us now, speaking of Giving Trail, let's talk about your role as councilman of Lawrenceville, of the city of Lawrenceville. So some people who aren't very familiar with the world of politics, right? Councilmen, state representative, commissioners, all the same to them, right? Tell us a little bit more about what it means to be a councilman, a councilwoman. What's your responsibility?
So basically, as I tell people, because I get this question a lot, as a council member, I am part of a 5-person team, right? There are 4 council members, 4 elected council members, and the mayor on the Lawrenceville City Council that comprises the city council. Our job is to set policy for the city, right? Just like you have a state representative or a state senator that sets policy for the state, or a county commissioner that sets policy for the county, we as council members, we set policy for the city, for the municipality in which we serve, right? So our job is to make sure that, you have great working sewage, we have lights, street lights, infrastructure is perfect in your community. We have to make sure that, trash pickup. We deal with a lot of, the issues of our residents and constituents calling us and, just basically concerned about challenges in their community. Stormwater drains blocked up, trash not being picked up. They're worried about, traffic, street lights that are not illuminating the part of their community, so they're concerned about those things. And we also have to make sure that, we have good policing in our city as well. We have to make sure that, whatever we do as council members, we are actually taking care of the citizens in our city. Now, we recently passed a $171 million budget for our city. Okay. And that budget basically includes services and initiatives to take care of the city. And so we basically set policy. We set ordinances for the city. Ordinances are basically laws for the city. And, we vote on rezonings, special use permits for businesses, so there's a lot of city business and a lot of initiatives that we have to oversee and manage as city council members. Now, one last thing, as I tell people, your city council, the reason why voting for your city council members is important is because we basically impact your life more so, and with the ordinances that we have to pass more so than your county commissioners, your state and your state senate, state representative. We impact your lives at the core level, right? So that's why it's important to get out and vote for your council members. Okay,
well that's some good stuff. So when we download this live and replay it on YouTube, I hope everyone goes back and listens to this. Very good stuff. Our children are learning about government and how it operates from elementary through high school. So this is very important. So please, if you are logged in tonight, make sure you share this live with your friends and family. Just tag them in and learn more about your local government as well. So you said, look, city council persons, right? They are very integral in your day-to-day life and activity.
Yes, ma'am.
So why did you choose city councilman versus state representative or commissioner or any other role to city councilman?
Well, I've served prior to running. I ran originally in 2019. I lost that election, and I came back in 2021 and ran again. But the reason why I chose the city council, prior to running, I served on the architecture review board, and I was attending the downtown development authority meetings. So, and also put onto the Lawrenceville 2024 committee, basically discussing how we're going to grow and develop the city, and make it a more marketable municipality. So I was involved in Lawrenceville and community boards and committees, also the Lawrenceville Neighborhood Alliance. Okay. Getting to know more about the city, getting to know more about how we are going to manage the quality of living and the quality of life in the city. not just for the residents, but also for the business owners, right? We wanted to, part of the plan was encouraging those who worked in the city but did not live in the city, was to encourage them, hey, come to Lawrenceville. You work in Lawrenceville. We want you to move to Lawrenceville as well. We really want to grow a city that's diverse, that's inclusive and equitable, in which everyone feels they have a part, and a role to play in growing and developing this city. So that's my job, is to make sure that, that we do have the proper diversity and inclusion in the city, make sure we have quality of life for everybody. And for those who feel underserved and underrepresented for many years, you finally have a seat at the table, and you have a councilman who is going to take your concerns and challenges into the meetings and discuss them. So again, it's the community. We have a direct impact on the citizens of the community. So that was more important to me.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So what are your plans? How long are you in this position, the city councilman? I know you officially took position January of 2022, so this year, so just about 6 months. So how long are you in this position, and what about your vision, your goals?
All right. So I'm in this position. We, as council members for Lawrenceville, we are in this position for 4-year terms. All right. My vision, I created a vision plan, and it included my platform points, and it was basically an elaborated snapshot incorporated in a document that outlined several key points. One is living wage jobs. I wanted to create and work with the council to create opportunities for living wage jobs. What does that mean? That means inviting companies where, you have an opportunity to have a manufacturer or a company or engineering company, a manufacturing company in the city that provides jobs with salaries ranging, over $20, $25, $30 an hour, right? We love the roster of restaurants and bars that we have in the city, but we definitely need to focus on jobs that are paying more than what a restaurant waiter or server receives as part of a salary. So living wage jobs is something that I've already started the discussion with the city council and with our city manager. So we're looking at ways in which that we can make Lawrenceville attractive to a major company that would want to relocate a division here in the city. The other one, supporting our local entrepreneurs, making sure that, especially post-COVID, making sure our local entrepreneurs have the resources, have access to capital and access to resources that will enable them to grow and scale successfully as a business. Now, I worked with Congresswoman Carolyn Bordeaux's team in identifying minority businesses during the COVID period, and remembering that, the things that we were trying to do for minority-owned businesses, especially women-owned businesses, Hispanic-owned, Black-owned, our disadvantaged veterans who are sometimes, feel underserved and underrepresented. We want to make sure that we have that available. And I'm currently working with 2 businesses right now, trying to get them access to capital and financing for their business, because our small businesses matter, and small businesses matter to the local economies as well. Not just, our main economy, but our local economies, because local jobs matter, right? Affordable housing. That's also a hot button item that I'm taking responsibility and sharing with another council member on my board, on our council, and making sure that developers, they're licking their chops to come in at Lawrenceville. They're licking their chops. They see, this area as a lucrative area. Who wouldn't, right? Lawrenceville is a growing city. It's a growing area. We're really doing the best that we can to improve the quality of life here and the quality of living. So we have developers who are looking at, building houses and townhomes, but we want to see if we can negotiate with them and make some of those affordable, at least 10 to 15% of the inventory affordable to income eligible applicants, right? Okay. I'm not against, I'm all for economic development. I'm a business consultant. That's what I do, right? I always push economic development, but we need to have affordable housing, not just for, the young students coming out of college who are just working to get up to the salaries that they desire, but also our retirees who are on fixed income, right? Making sure that, that we have that. So I'm in conversation with the Lawrenceville Housing Authority and, with our city, trying to make sure when developers come before the council, moving forward, I can't affect what happened before I came into office, but moving forward, making sure that, hey, what percentage of your inventory is designated for income eligible applicants?
Right.
Because not everybody can afford a $500,000 house, a $1,500 to $2,000 rent for apartments. I understand we're trying to, improve the quality of living here, but we also have to remember there are people who can't afford, and affordable doesn't mean low income. We have to really, make that distinction. Affordable doesn't mean low income. So when you talk about affordability, some people say, oh, low income, but no, it's not. We just want to make sure that we have affordable income, affordable housing for our teachers, our firefighters, our police officers, our civil servants. These are important individuals, and we know those salaries are not the highest, but we want to make sure that they're incorporated into the fabric of Lawrenceville and make sure they have an affordable accommodations in the city. Also, finally, and this is just the main points, right? I know we only got 30 minutes. Transportation, local transportation. Like I've already proposed local transportation, local shuttle service around the municipality. For those who are unable to, drive or don't have access to a vehicle, can't afford Lyft or Uber or taxis, and for our residents who are physically unable to move around on their own, but making sure that we have a shuttle service that can get people to the various business establishments within the municipality. We want to give every business owner an opportunity, not just in the downtown area, but also those outside the downtown area who for long have been ignored, or felt ignored by the city. They felt isolated. They feel as if we're not part of the city. But we need to make sure that everybody, every business in our community, they get an opportunity to get as much volume of traffic to their doors as possible. And it's all for the benefit of growing a successful local economy in the city of Lawrenceville.
Okay. All right. Well, this is some really good information. I really appreciate that. So we'll ask you at the size of the city of Lawrenceville. So
yeah.
You talk about the expansion, right? So how large is the city? Is it one of the largest cities in Gwinnett County? I want to talk about the size of it, just so people who don't live in Lawrenceville, don't live in Gwinnett, can kind of get an idea of the dynamics of this city.
Right. So the city of Lawrenceville, the municipality, is 34,000 residents. Mm-hmm. We are the county seat, meaning we are the capital of Gwinnett County, right? Gwinnett County is the second largest in the state behind Fulton County. The largest city in Gwinnett is actually Peachtree Corners. Yeah. So, so we still have the responsibility of managing, all of the resources now we don't control water. That's Gwinnett. That's the county. Right? We don't control water. We used to control water, but we sold that off to the county. Well, we still control the power. We manage our own power. We have clients also in Loganville and I think some parts of Conyers as well. So, we have, we have a lot of responsibility in this city and especially to our employees and trying to make sure that, again, we take care of everybody. One of the line items in the budget we just passed is actually for assistance with relocation for anyone, any employee living outside of the city. There's an incentive where they can get some money to help move and moving expenses and so on and so forth into the city. We really want our workers to live in the city as much as possible. If this is what they want. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So it's an incentive that has been considered, discussed. It's not made into law yet.
Yeah, it was passed in the budget. It was it's a $25,000 incentive.
Okay.
So it's meted out in $5,000 increments, right? So say for instance, Lolita, if you lived outside of the city but you worked in the city,
Right.
and your moving expenses was within the range of whatever 0 to 5,000, you will get, you will apply for and get $5,000 to help with your moving expenses, and relocating into the city. So we wanted to make sure that got passed, for our our workers, our employees,
Right.
that want to move into the city.
Okay, so that's definitely the work, live, play mindset.
Yes.
Live,
Yes.
play. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, that's
And
good.
and we see the wonderful mix that we have in the city: houses, townhomes, apartments. We have everybody from college professors to teachers, high school, public school teachers, police officers who are looking to move into the city, accountants, finance people, you name it, engineers. We have a plethora of diverse professions in the city. And because, folks want the work here, live here, play here model. And we're going to be seeing grocery outlets soon open up. So you have walkable grocery outlets. So you don't have to drive to Kroger and do self-checkouts or or Publix. You can walk to your local grocery outlet and you can pick up your milk and eggs and cheese and vegetables and so on and so forth. We want people to be excited about Lawrenceville, and that's where we're going.
Awesome. Well, that is very exciting. Lawrenceville is such a huge city. So is where you are responsible, right, as councilman? Is that correct?
Yeah, for the entire, because we're at large, so we have to declare a post when we're running, but we're responsible for all residents in the city of Lawrenceville.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Understood. So,
Yeah.
such a huge, it extends at least, seem like 25, 30 minutes from the first end to the bottom half. So, like you said, certain other cities in Gwinnett get their utilities from the city of Lawrenceville and so forth.
Ma'am.
Familiar with resident. Yeah, very familiar. Okay, awesome.
Right. Yeah.
So you have really 3.5 more years. Do you plan to stay in this position, meaning run for re-election? You think as councilman, or do you want to maybe? And I know this is early, okay? It may not be public information just yet, but just or are you ecstatic where you are in this position? Do you feel that your purpose is being met, councilman, or do you have a vision to go to another level within community leadership?
Some of my friends have a more ambitious vision for me than I have for my own self, and my vision, is ambitious enough, but, I want to see how effective of a councilman I am for these 4 years. I want to be, and I'm not just sitting in a seat, right? And this is what I told folks when I was running. I'm not sitting, I don't care about occupying a seat. I don't care about being called honorable councilman or anything. My main mission and objective is to serve the community and serve our residents and make sure that we have ordinances and we're setting policy to increase the quality of life for our citizens. So I want to make sure that I am effective in that, for these next 4 years. I do have some ideas on where I might go next. But that will be discussed maybe at the end of these 4 years.
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
We definitely appreciate your time. Again, to those of you who were watching with us live, apologize for the technology. Listen, I don't get to.
That's technology.
Yes, it's technology for you. Like I said, when it's good, it's good, and when it's not, it's not. But we appreciate you tonight with us, Councilman Austin Thompson, and appreciate your leadership within the city of Lawrenceville and within Gwinnett County as a whole, as well as the state of Georgia. Do you want to leave the viewers with encouraging words tonight?
Yes, I just want to say we are elected to serve you, but we also want our residents to attend our city council meetings the last Monday of every month. You can go to lawrencevillega.org and see the schedule for all meetings, not just the city council meetings. You also have an opportunity to meet with me at the Euro Gourmet Cafe every first and third Saturday of every month between 9 and 11. That's like my open office hours, right? So you can come and meet with me, sit with me, and I've had residents come and sit with me and discuss the city. My goal is to make sure I reach every resident in this city. I might not be able to do it in the time that I wish to by going door to door, but I do that as well. But at the same time, I want different modes and different channels of communication. Email, phone call, reach out to me, let me know. I am here to serve you. I am here to serve the residents of the city of Lawrenceville. You know, and we are doing a great job, but we have so much further to go as a city, and we want to make sure that we're doing it in partnership with our residents, because you are also stakeholders in this growth plan. Absolutely.
Well, we definitely appreciate all this wonderful information. I learned a lot more about the city of Lawrenceville, which is a neighboring city, as well as takes our utility monies as well. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You are definitely witness to that as a neighboring city to the city of Lawrenceville. Again, just thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate your servant leadership as well. And for those of you who are not familiar with City Councilman Austin Thompson, he is on LinkedIn. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can find him on Facebook. He also has a YouTube channel as well. And of course, he's right here on Instagram. So he did promise me the other day he's going to be more active on
yes.
Please make sure that you follow him. Maybe he'll upload some reminders regarding the city council meetings.
Yes, so ma'am, I will.
And participate. And so we know knowledge is power. So definitely make sure you utilize the resources of our elected officials that you elected. That's important. You elected this young man to lead and to serve you. So make sure that you hold him accountable by attending those meetings,
That's
reaching
right.
out. Therefore, that is what grows your voice. Okay, now your voice is being utilized and heard. So we appreciate you guys again. This is Politics Personified, presented by the Personified Group. I am your host, Lolita Hampton. We appreciate you. Make sure to mark your calendars for next month. We'll have another special guest. And have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, take care.